Hi, my name is Scott Davis, and today we're going to be going over how to replace a cord lock on a woven wood shade. You'll know the cord lock needs to be replaced when you lift your blind and lock it by pulling the cords to the right position. Either one side or the entire shade will gradually drop down. So to go over some tools that we'll need to go ahead and do this, let's see what we need. A twisty tie from a loaf of bread or a garbage can bag is an extra little tip that I'll show you most of the way through, and this will be used for pulling the cords through the cord lock. A small screwdriver can sometimes be useful to help push the cord around the internals of the cord lock. A sharp pair of scissors can be used to cut the string. The sharper the better because we don't want to fray the edges. A Phillips head screwdriver to unscrew the cord lock from the blind, and then a pair of needle nose pliers just in case we get into a position where we need to pull the string through. So here's what it actually looks like on the blind. And the great thing about this style of blinds is that this cord lock and this design is pretty much carried through all the major manufacturers, whether it be Hunter Douglas, Levalor, Bally, or even some off-name brands. So you could actually use this video to get you through repairing this part on about 90% of the various bamboo shades in the industry. So let's go ahead and get started. First, what we're going to do is we need to take these tassels off. Based on the width of your blind, you may have 2 for a narrow blind like we have here. You may have 3 or even 4 if the blind gets to be 6 foot plus in width. So this is where a sharp pair of scissors comes in. You can go ahead and untie this knot, but if you have a little bit of extra string and you can give up the 1/4 of an inch the knot may be taking, you can go ahead and snip just above the knot with a sharp pair of scissors, which I'm going to go ahead and do here. As you take this out, be careful because in the bottom is usually a white little donut, and the purpose of this little donut is so that you can tie a single or a double knot and it won't pull through the larger hole that's in these tassels. So make sure we don't lose these pieces. We'll set them off to the side. Go ahead and continue on for the next tassel. Again, cutting just above the knot. And go ahead and set these pieces aside. Now we have these little plastic donuts, and the purpose of these plastic donuts is that whenever the cord tries to be pulled through here to get some slack, it stops it from happening. So this is really a child safety feature so that kids can't get slack and it can become a choking hazard. So we are going to remove these, but I highly suggest putting these back on for that reason. The best thing to use is a pair of needle nose pliers. Over the years, this has probably been pulled numerous times and this may be a little bit tight. But you can just go ahead and tug gently at these strings and you can see it starting to come apart here already. So as we look at this, the way that this donut is threaded is the string goes through the middle of it, back through, then around. And I'll show you more of that later, but just make sure that as you take it out, you don't tangle or knot it. And make sure to set the donuts to the side. These are coming apart pretty easy as this shade's newer. Okay, so now we're ready to go ahead and unscrew the cord lock. You'll see we have 2 Phillips head screws here. And as we take this piece off, we want to make sure not to let the cord slip inside the shade, as it's just extra work to have to go back in and fish it out. But let's go ahead and unscrew those 2 Phillips head screws now. Okay, there we go. Now before we take this off, what I want to point out is that this blind only has 2 cords, and so there's these stainless steel bars here, and it separates the cording so they don't get tangled, and it doesn't allow the cord to go in tangled up and get caught up in the locking mechanism here. So you want to see how your cords are divided and divide it the same way on the new cord lock when you put it together. So here we have 1 cord to the far front and 1 cord to the far back. So we'll go ahead and remember that. Another thing to notate is that these cord locks do have a particular design. You can see this is an offset design where it more or less comes straight up here on the left, but it angles off to the right. You want to go ahead and match it up with the way that your old cord lock was, because these are designed to lock in a certain manner. So if you put it in reverse, your blind may operate in reverse manner where you have to pull it to the outside to unlock it and the inside to unlock it.